been telling you all day today, we are focusing on women's health issues. At 6 o'clock this morning, I showed you a report on freezing your eggs for women in reproductive years. And now here to discuss hormone changes for a little bit later in life, I'm joined by the Galveston Diet author and expert on all things menopause, Dr. Mary Claire Haver. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So this is a really exciting topic and very frustrating that it's something that not a lot of women know about, and literally every single woman is going to experience
100% if you live long enough.
100%. So tell me about, like, the idea is that, okay, menopause happens at 50, so I don't have to think about it till I'm 50. What age do symptoms start?
Actually, so menopause is when your period's end forever. The average age is 51, but perimenopause is when your body starts recognizing that your hormones are being depleted. And those symptoms can start 7 to 10 years before your period stops. So if average is 51 for full menopause, normal's still 45 to 55. So do the math, back that up 7 to 10 years. It's completely reasonable for a 35 to 45-year-old woman to begin to start experiencing these changes.
Yeah, and so people don't know why in their late 30s and in their 40s they're beginning to gain weight and lose sleep and have skin changes. I'm looking at my phone because we have viewer questions, and people want to know, what can they do about that, about those hormonal changes?
Sure. So I wish that you could just walk into your OB-GYN's office and they would be fully educated in perimenopause and menopause, but unfortunately our education system isn't supporting that right now. And so trying to find someone who's menopause certified from maybe the Menopause Society, or really calling ahead to see, hey, are you comfortable discussing hormone therapy with me, you know, while I'm going through this transition?
The thing is that, what was it, 10, 20 years ago, there was so much information saying, don't take it, it's going to cause cancer. Now, the data is actually reversing and showing that estrogen actually improves our risk of cardiovascular disease,
Correct.
right?
So if you begin hormone therapy in the form of estrogen plus or minus progesterone, starting in early menopause, so within 10 years of when your period stops, you actually have a lower all-cause mortality, so lower chance of death from any cause, about a 50% decreased risk of cardiovascular disease year per year, and a decreased risk of all cancers.
So people just want to know, is it safe?
Is it safe? For the vast majority of patients, well more than we thought in the last 20 years, hormone therapy is very safe for almost everyone.
I have a question from a viewer that says, my doctor says I should wait until I'm through menopause to start hormone therapy, but I wanted to start it early. Why are doctors so against this? She actually says, my doctor kind of made me mad about this.
So this is very common. If you do find a provider who's willing to discuss hormone therapy, a lot of them are very anxious because of lack of training that we really shouldn't start supporting your hormones until you're fully menopausal. Well, new data and evidence is showing that's not true. It's completely safe and efficacious, actually, especially for mental health, to start in perimenopause. Actually, starting someone on hormone support is going to be more efficacious than antidepressants.
Earlier.
Without having, you know, and if you have early, like depression that is mild.
Yeah, well, every time I've mentioned hormone replacement therapy on the news, somebody always says, yeah, but how much does that cost? People dismiss it because they think it's way too expensive. Is that true?
Sure. So because of the Women's Health Initiative and kind of all hormone therapy being taken off the table for most women because of fear, there were kind of cottage industries that popped up to give hormone therapy, and those were very expensive. However, FDA-approved options for hormone therapy, like going to Walgreens and picking up your estrogen, can be as low as $30 a month.
So you can talk about different options, different price ranges,
exactly,
whatever you might be comfortable with. And a lot of this information is in your book. We have a picture of your book up now. This is your new book, right?
Right, the new Menopause.
Because everybody's familiar with the Galveston Diet. Right. It was a huge hit.
It is.
And now you have even more information in this one?
Yes, so this book, the Galveston Diet, was more of a nutrition and lifestyle, you know, plan for women who are going through this transition. I stand by all of that 100%.
Good.
This is more of the medical side, all about hormone therapy, the history of menopause, why you're struggling to find a doctor who can support you during this time, and solutions and strategies, because it turns out we have estrogen receptors in every organ system of our body, and when those levels decline, everything, headaches, mental health changes, you know, asthma, frozen shoulder, musculoskeletal pain, gastrointestinal changes, you know, we know about osteoporosis. So everything is affected.
Symptoms that you would never associate with hormones, but it might be. And so I'm glad to hear that you still stand by your Galveston diet, because one viewer even says that she upped her protein in a recommendation from you. I do feel better. How much is too much for a woman in perimenopause?
That's a great question. So it seems to be that you know, the kind of back of the envelope calculation is, what's your ideal body weight? And most women know that like the back of their hands. Where is the weight that you felt the most happy?
We won't say it on TV, but we know.
And healthy. So take that weight, convert it to kilograms. And that, you know, say that's 100 kilograms, just making up a number.
Luckily, Google will do that for us.
Google will do it for you.
Yeah.
And so you're going to multiply that by about 1.5 to 1.7, much higher than the FDA recommended doses,
Right.
because in the WHI, some of the good information that came out from that study is that women who ate that much protein had much lower osteoporosis and frailty scores than women who did not.
Yeah, I'm still looking at the questions because we've got a couple more. First of all, just how can somebody be tested for their hormones to know if their symptoms might be linked to hormones?
So with the menopause docs that I practice with, there's really not a great blood or urine test that's going to tell you
Right.
perimenopause. We know postmenopause, like you're done, your ovaries have completely failed. We can test for that pretty easily. But in peri, it's a hormonal zone of chaos. So a one-time blood test, urine or saliva test is rarely diagnostic. You just have to listen to the patient and believe her. Now, we might do other blood tests like hypothyroidism, autoimmune disease. I mean, I do these routinely on my menopause patients to make sure I'm not missing something that looks a lot like perimenopause.
Mm-hmm. Last question. Why do black hairs suddenly pop up on my face? My mom says, welcome to the club. Is this hormonal?
Yes, it typically is. There's a genetic component, of course. But when we go through menopause, we have higher androgen activity levels. And it's a very complicated hormonal explanation. But basically, the activity of your androgens, so you may get acne, you may get chin hairs, you may start losing hair in places that you wanted it. And it is sort of a club, but there are things that you can do about it.
Sort of a club. All right, so the takeaway message
I definitely
is
have a couple.
talk to your doctor, see what they're comfortable with, see what you're comfortable with. There's different price ranges that you can help out with. And then coming up today at 4 o'clock, I've also got that report that we did together about hormone quizzes. And you also have a hormone quiz, the most reliable one, on your website. We do. Right? All right, we will also clip this interview on our website, click2houston.com, in case you missed anything. Dr. Mary Claire Haver, before I let you go, anything you want to say?
You know, menopause is inevitable, but suffering is not.
I love that. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Haver.